My friends, the system has just entered total panic mode. While you were sleeping, a major move was made on the 2026 chessboard, the indictment of Senator Flavio Bolsonaro, a prospective candidate in the election. But I ask you, why now? Why exactly at the moment when the structures of Brasilia are shaking with behind-the-scenes revelations? What you're going to see today is not just news. It's the anatomy of a persecution that ignores reality. The checkmate they tried to deliver could end up being the biggest strategic mistake in this country's recent history. They are trying to bury the right because they know that without using the state apparatus to create narratives, they can't win at the polls. And today I'm going to show you how the plan backfired and why the right's ticket back for 2026 just got a seal of authenticity that no one expected. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and leave a like. Now let's get straight to the point. No mainstream media sugarcoating. Justice Alexandre de Moraes ordered the opening of an investigation against Senator Flavio Bolsonaro for alleged slander against the current president Lula. Yes, and do you know what the terrible crime was? A post where the senator said that Lula will be implicated, where he appears next to Maduro, and the post was made precisely at the time of Maduro's arrest by the American government. And at the time, he mentioned the connections of the São Paulo Forum with neighboring dictatorships. The indictment for slander is legally weak, which means the real goal is not to punish a crime, but rather to invoke the clean record law to remove Flavio from the 2026 race. In the text, Flavio does not directly accuse Lula, but he directs the accusation straight at Maduro, the head of the cartels. Yes, Maduro was arrested and is being tried in the American courts. And things are so disgusting in Brazil that it's forbidden to mention that Lula is friends with Maduro. But if you just search a little on social media, on the internet, you'll find many videos, many pictures of the two together, calling each other friends and comrades. And it's not just about Maduro. There's also Lula, who stated in a video that he is one of the founders, and this was at the UN. Lula stated it, and he claims that he founded the São Paulo Forum. Yes, he is the creator of this abominable monster. Now Moraes is pushing hard to turn political opinion and parliamentary criticism into an ordinary criminal offense. In today's Brazil, talking about the decades-long friendship between the PT and Maduro's regime is now treated as criminal defamation. It's the use of the law for political suffocation. But if a senator who has parliamentary immunity guaranteed by the Constitution to speak and give opinions can no longer criticize the government, who in Brazil is safe? But answer here in the comments. Do you think this is the application of the law? Or is it fear of what the people will say at the polls in a few months? Moraes-style law in Brazil has created two castes. Those who can do anything and those who can't do anything, not even post on social media. So this week we have two facts that show the system's plan backfired. First, the case of Flavio Bolsonaro and the desperation. And the second is the brutal contrast that the system tries to hide from you. While they open this new front against Bolsonaro's son, the federal police have just concluded a years-long chapter against Jair Bolsonaro. Remember that bombastic accusation from 2020 when former Minister Sergio Moro left the government saying that the president was interfering in the federal police? Moraes ordered the case reopened, demanded a thorough investigation, and instructed them to find the crime. And do you know what the federal police, yes, the federal police that is now under the command of Lula's government, concluded now? Well, the federal police concluded for the second time that there is no evidence, which means that Jair Bolsonaro has involuntarily received the strongest proof of honesty in the history of Brazil. Think about it with me. It's 8 years of investigation. They investigated jewelry, they investigated whales, they investigated vaccine cards, they investigated fake news, and now the alleged interference in the police force. If you investigate a man for almost a decade with all the power of the state and the final report comes back empty, you end up proving that he is the cleanest man in the country. The system, in its desperation to destroy him, ended up shielding Bolsonaro's image in the eyes of public opinion. They investigate, accuse, but they never find anything. Now pay attention. Does the system insist on opening new fronts against the Bolsonaro family? And if the deeper investigations from years ago are coming back empty, is the answer strategic rather than legal? And this proves one thing. The Supreme Court is in a position of unprecedented vulnerability. The Banco Master scandal, the revelations about contracts, and the pressure coming from outside, especially with the changing winds in the United States, are backing the justices into a corner. Moraes has already been sanctioned as a human rights violator. Well, Trump backed down, switched to rare earths, but started putting a lot of pressure on the Brazilian government, even with Lula promising that he would remove Moraes. That supposedly was the agreement. In the last few days, Moraes and Lula doubled down and prevented Trump's representative from coming to Brazil. Lula cancels the visa and Moraes does not allow the visit to former President Bolsonaro. The system went on the attack to divert attention from its own internal crises, which means that Flavio's indictment works as a smokescreen to try to regain the narrative of defending democracy. They know the world is changing. The international scenario no longer tolerates this two-tier justice. When the federal police say there was no crime in the interference case, the narrative of Bolsonaro as a coup plotter starts to fall apart. So what do? They manufacture a new issue. They attack the son to try to keep the father busy and the right wing cornered. The miscalculation in Brasilia is thinking that people still fall for the same trick from 2019. Back then, there was doubt. Today, reality prevails. Every time they try to make the right-wing leader ineligible without real evidence, they only multiply the popular support for that leader. The plan is backfiring because the persecution has become too obvious. By trying to arrest the son over a post and ignoring the father's innocence report, the system is just signing Brasilia's own confession. Brazil is experiencing an existential division, and the truth is like water. It always finds a way to emerge. And it doesn't matter how much pressure they try to pile on. The truth is our only shield, but it needs a voice. Everything I showed you here today is what the mainstream media tries to bury under the biased headlines. Censorship wants to tighten the noose, and your reaction here is what keeps them from moving forward. And if you want to understand what goes on behind the scenes that no one tells you about and have access to analyses that really shield your mind against manipulation, you need to join our exclusive platform now. Use the QR code that's appearing on your screen. The link is in the first pinned comment and also in the video description. There are already more than 3,000 members who have understood how the game works. And I sincerely thank all of them for their support, as they help fund the content I bring here as well. Over there, our conversation is straightforward and unfiltered. And for those who want to see how art and fiction already predicted this collapse of justice, we also created our own series and movies channel. That's where we broaden our perspective through culture, so go check it out. The link is in the description, in the pinned comment, and also in the card that's appearing on your screen. My friends, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and leave a like on the video. Share this video on WhatsApp, break through the bubble. Show that the checkmate failed and that the federal police have already given their verdict. There was no crime. I'm Shimon Oliveira, and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.